I just hate that.
I hated that more than you hated it, because that... What's up, guys? We're doing another Actors React. This is our second one. I'm John, this is Gordon.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be looking at some clips from different movies. It's going to exhibit some good, some bad, and some ugly acting. Let's dive right in.
I think the hardest part was just seeing Noah's face at prom. Gosh, I wish I just told him then. But you know what? No matter how he feels now, I've just got to find him and tell him how I feel.
You just did.
So I already don't believe this because this guy he's like 6'5" and in high school, and I'm supposed to believe that the party that they just came from, she couldn't recognize him because he had a Batman mask on.
And this happens with like Riverdale and this one too. It's like there's no way this guy's actually in high school. Like you can see that his 5 o'clock shadow. You can see it.
I was not expecting that. Oh my god, like what?
She's working so hard to sell this moment that she doesn't even believe. I mean, look at how much her hands are moving.
Actually, I commend her on her willingness to commit to this, and she's bringing the energy, which is what an actor has to do.
I thought you were leaving for Harvard.
Yeah, I was planning to, but I decided I had to see you one last time before I went.
So he does a good choice here. He counters her energy. She's bringing all this like bright, happy energy to the scene, and instead of continuing that, he kind of undercuts it, which ultimately lets us in to something personal that he's revealing.
Thanks for staying a little longer.
Well, I had to see you blow out the candles on your cake.
You want to take the audience on a journey, and the actor leans in. So he's telegraphing that he's going to kiss her, and we already as an audience know that he's going to do it here, which doesn't entertain us. We need to be led on a journey, and the only way to make this work is if he were to lean in and then he were to back off.
Misdirect.
It's that dance that you want to play, and are they going to kiss? Are they not going to kiss?
He should have even looked away. He gives her so much power in this scene by looking at her.
Happy birthday to me.
When she says happy birthday to me, something about it just seems like that's not the strongest thing.
If people are saying your line's awkward, that should be a note to the writer to say, okay, the line doesn't work.
We do have a solution, which is get rid of the line.
You know, I want to know what it was that you had to tell me.
Sitting here in front of no one in particular. I'm saying I love you.
They both drew the past several lines out so much that it ends up being kind of the same note through that whole thing. It reads as very flat.
It's more in the control of the editing room, but you still want to pick up your cues. You still want to, because that's energy that you're leaving on the ground. You want to keep the energy up and keep raising it as the scene goes on.
And I love you.
You guys are gonna love these in 30 years. Oh yeah, classic. Oh yeah,
Hey.
there we go.
Hey!
No, reception's that way, buddy.
No, you know me.
Adam comes into this scene with such great energy. He's not waiting for the other actor to respond and keep the scene going. He's jumping right in.
Whoa. Hey, Noah, what are you doing? You're just being weird, man. No, I'm so sorry. You have to excuse
That
my
whole
friend.
bit right there seems so rushed because they're talking a little too fast and they're discovering a little too quickly.
You really gotta listen, and it doesn't seem like he's actually listening.
He gets weird when he's hitting on chicks. Wait, don't I know you?
The
From
cut is
Instagram.
so
What's your
choppy.
name?
Every time they cut back to people, they're kind of in different positions.
Yeah, sometimes picking up your cues too much and talking over each other actually makes it worse. It's just difficult to cut.
I feel like I'm going crazy right now. Like, what's happening? Am I crazy?
Adam does the same character every movie, and it works for him, so that's great. He's actually dialing it back.
Seriously, dude, you can't get lost.
What?
Okay, weirdo, this is my day.
That line seems forced on the writing side. I don't know why she would be so rude. Oftentimes in these comedies, people around the main character, like the side characters, are always very rude to the main character, like aggressively rude in a way that I usually just don't buy.
Yeah, I think her initial comment with the teeth in is funny, but then you give her too much time and it falls apart.
Yeah.
Wait a second. If you don't know me and you don't know her, that means that last night just didn't happen. Which means that tonight didn't happen. So I still have a chance to meet her before she meets him. And then all that means is that I just traveled back in time. Okay, Noah, seriously.
So that's that high Adam energy that you usually see. This is the Groundhog Day movie all over again. Unfortunately, I believe this version of the Groundhog Day movie suffers from rushing that Groundhog Day discovery, where they discovered that they're reliving the day. There is one that does it really well. Happy Death Day gives the main actor a lot of time to discover it, and she fights that discovery. Here,
he immediately comes to that conclusion.
Immediately.
And then all that means is that I just traveled back in time.
Saw your mom last night.
I hate her.
I love how much patience he's having. It's between the lines that there's patience. So he gets his lines out, and then there's patience.
I hated my mom, too. I miss her like hell now.
There's so much discovery with each line, and you could see it on Mahershala Ali's face just now when he said, I miss her so much now. And you could see him remembering his mother fondly.
The gears in his head turning.
What's a faggot?
First, he holds his gaze on the kid, letting us know that this is a serious question. He's taking it in. He checks in with another person in the room. He looks around. He stumbles to start talking again. He's using his eyes to tell the story, not the words.
A word used to make gay people feel bad.
And he lands his final point on the kid. When you have a line and you're trying to really send a line to another actor, you can do all that, but you have to land it on them. It's like tossing the line up to the other actor.
Am I a faggot?
No. You could be gay, but you never let nobody call you no faggot.
And check out the pacing there. They take so much time. He draws attention to his character's inner world by immediately saying no. Whereas with everything else, he's never responded immediately.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know?
Just do.
Powerful direction here. They're not having the kid do too much.
Mm-hmm.
Performances fall flat when the director is asking too much of a kid who just doesn't quite have the experience, especially like someone like Mahershala Ali, who's clearly a pro. The ability to take direction is the first step to being an actor because you start not knowing anything. If you can't take direction, then you can't learn.
Yeah.
But here, he's taking direction. He could develop into quite a good actor.
You know.
That's her only line that she's had up to this point, and she didn't draw too much attention to it. I've seen a lot of actors, if they only have one line, it's dramatic, and they're in your face, and they make sure everyone heard it, but she did a good job of almost like a throwaway line.
Serve the movie, not yourself.
My mama. She do drugs, right?
Yeah.
He showed us his eyes in every other moment, but here Mahershala completely covers his eyes to establish how ashamed he is. And he's not afraid of having a weak performance. I feel like a lot of actors are afraid to do something like that because, the camera can't see my eyes, I'm looking down. But he's really drawing attention to the inner world of his character here, as opposed to demonstrating a weak performance.
And this is great on the script's part, and I mean, he's just carrying it out. But it seems like this character has rules. He was honest to this kid about the previous thing, so now he's got to be honest about himself.
Like, I'm really, really good at giving advice. Like, I'm way better at giving advice than taking advice.
I see this a lot when actors, I've done this myself, I still do it. When I don't have a really good choice, I just laugh while I say a line. And she does it multiple times in this, that's why I'm saying it now.
I think that's the real issue, is when you're overplaying one choice.
I can't.
I'm not a huge fan of the direction here and the editing. I just heard a train in the background, but why? I don't need to hear that. There's a lot of wind. I don't need to hear all that. It's like they're trying to drown out the performance because they think it's bad. If you don't trust the people that you worked with, I mean, it's not gonna read very well. I also don't like that he's shooting them from behind. I can tell he did it because he wanted the lights in the frame, which it looks cool, but it's taking away from the performance. This over the shoulder, I don't actually know the inner world of the characters too well. Alexandra Daddario, you're getting a lot of her, but less of Tyler Hoechlin. You know, I can't really tell what he's thinking because we're at such a bad angle to read him. If you're gonna kiss someone, you would scoot closer. You're not gonna, lean that far. So that is one thing that's bothering me. Again, that's the direction.
You could have any woman.
See, that's to John's point. She plays that's like laughing through the line when this is clearly a moment of vulnerability. Now, these guys play really well off of each other. I do feel like they're suffering from some poor staging and some poor writing.
That was so douchey.
No.
I just hate that.
I hated that more than you hated it because that was, first off, a terrible line.
How do you make that line work? I have no idea.
I don't know if you can, but they had a terrible attempt at making that line work. It was just...
He laughed about it. He thought it was funny. Wouldn't you feel like more like, oh shoot, oh my god, I can't.
Yeah, that was even more douchey than what he first said.
Yeah, him laughing about, that was douchey.
I mean, but even that's better than what he did. Dude, I don't know.
What I meant to say.
I'm done with this scene. I can't look at it anymore.
Before we watch this last clip, we just want to mention that it was suggested by Ryan Oaksenberg. Thank you so much for commenting. If you guys want us to talk about a scene that you love or hate, please comment in the section below, and we will definitely look for it. But here we go.
Starting now, you're not to blink. If you blink, we go back to the start.
All right, that's a great line. You're not to blink? Holy crap.
Infringement. You blinked. Starting now, you're not to blink. If you blink, we go back to the
Joaquin
start.
Phoenix has so embodied this character. Every second you can see another mannerism manifest on the screen. The bouncy shoulder. His character is hunched over this whole movie, and even sitting down, he's playing that on such a small frame.
Where are you running from?
Maybe hurt a man, I think. Maybe he's dead, I don't know.
Where?
In Salinas, he stole a batch of my booze and he drank it.
Does this bougie make poison?
Not if you drink it, smart.
Are you trying to poison me?
No.
Where's your father?
Dead.
How did he die?
Drunk.
Where's your mother?
Just the way he says every line, it's different. Yeah. He never says one line the same. And he did eventually found a time to pause. That talking about his mom is what hurts him the most.
Where's your mother?
Loony bin.
She's psychotic.
Yeah.
Notice how much power Philip Seymour Hoffman has by never raising his voice. Philip Seymour Hoffman has not given much of a change in his delivery or his pace. All he does is choose where to put his pauses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any movement, whether that be changes in tone, physicality, that's all losing you power. And he's also trusting that Joaquin Phoenix will supply this all the big choices.
I thought you were fools.
Am I a fool to you?
No, sir.
If you were locked in a room for the rest of your life, who would be in there with you?
Doris.
Who's Doris?
Best girl I ever met. Girl I'm gonna marry one day.
think a lot of actors would have drawn that line out, and he didn't bother with it. He just knew that that's not important. No one cares about that. Best girl I ever met, I'm going to marry her someday. He doesn't bother to... I can barely even understand what he's saying. Frankly, it doesn't matter.
Tell me why you're not with her if you love her so much. I told her I'd come back, and I never went back, and now I gotta get back to her. Why don't you go back? I don't know. Why don't you go? I don't know! Close your eyes.
You see, that's all that mattered, is delivering those last two lines. I don't know. I don't know. So he was comfortable spitting everything else out as quickly as he could because he's driving to the point. He's driving to his big moment.
And it was interesting, he was like, Joaquin was getting closer, his lean was getting closer and closer to Philip Seymour Hoffman in the camera. Awesome.
He does the same thing Daniel Day-Lewis does, which is go big and then draw it right back. So he doesn't look crazy. I don't know.